No, hello everyone today, because what do you mean? Not only did you guys eliminate seowon, but he also ranked 30 freaking ninth out of 48? This might be the most I've ever been angry at an elimination ever. Not because the episode wasn't good, because I'm gonna say it. The episode was great. The episode had a haunted house segment, line distribution, people talking about the new song. The episode had seowon killing parts for the first time, and the first time getting a freaking song he liked and he fits in this program, only for him to be eliminated. Yeah, I'm crashing out. Come with me while I crash out and talk about what happened this episode and how people cannot vote. And we see that with governments, we see that with presidents, and we see that with Boys to Planets. Because why would it be any different, right? They start with the haunted house segments. To be honest, I didn't really understand if everyone was playing, if only some people were playing, what were the rules. It was a bit confusing, but it was interesting to watch. And we got to see Zhao winning. We got a lot of Xinglong screen time. We got a tiny bit of Kaiwan screen time, but we got a lot of focus into Xinglong. We got Sungwon a little bit of screen time. We got Gyehyun a little bit of screen time. Basically, this part was just all fun and games. We also got a little cameo from Jinu from K-pop Demon Hunters with the last ghost that appeared and just followed them. So the episode started out fun. We laughed. And then we got to see some entrances from our favorite trainees. Not everyone, obviously, because they cut out some people. And then we got to see again the stage. And I was reminded just how much I hated, how unsymmetrical it was. Like, why would you have 7th and 8th together and not have 7th one place, 8th another place, and just make the whole scene symmetric? So that pissed me off a bit. And then we got to see Choi-sun, and we knew he was going to be there for us who watched the live 24th place Survivor. And Sun was beautiful. He was sweating and he was nervous, as he told us afterwards, but he was beautiful nonetheless. We got to see Seowon and Yoonmin a bit, which I was happy about. And Seowon, he had the cutest, most fluffiest hair ever, and I'm just in love. I think that's my favorite styling he had since, which was a while ago in Boys Planet, obviously. And the whole purpose of this first part was just to show who was in 24th place, which was Harry, June, Jae, and Dongyu. And we know that Dongyu survived. Spoiler alert, haha. But these were the contenders for 24th. Then we had another scene where the trainees were getting in one place and they were asked to watch this screen which showed the songs Lucky Macho, Chains, Main Dish, Sugar High. And then we had some trainees having really awkward reactions for the songs, aka Angshin for Chains, but he was put there either way. Instead of choosing themselves, we chose these songs for them. And all of this was told to them by none other than Ming Hao or the 8 from 17. And I'm thinking like, wow, the budget goes crazy because we had Yuri, we had Sun, we had Ming Hao. We also have a bit of Plave afterwards because they were one of the producers and they actually gave one of the songs to the show. So the budget is crazy, but they can't afford to make a symmetrical stage for the top 8. Also, can they not afford to give everyone screen time? But we know the answer is no. That's just rigging. But like, the symmetry, really hope they change that for the finale. But anyways, Ming Hao was scrumptious as he showed everyone what was happening. And Plave appeared to show their Main Dish song. Main Dish, which in the next episode will be our and then we voted for the trainees, right? Like a couple weeks ago. And from that, they were able to form the groups. And some people were like, oh, I really want this. I really want this. And most of the ones that they showed that they really wanted a song, they got it. But we'll go over that slowly. They finished showing the songs. And then, surprisingly, what did we have? Seowon screen time. Seowon was the first one to be able to see which song he was placed in. And then we got a Boys Planet callback because he wasn't able to do Say My Name because he was kicked out to do Supercharger. So he was like, I really wanted to do Sugar High because I wasn't able to perform that kind of song last time, and I hope I will be able this time. And then he got the killing part. Well, he didn't get the killing part yet, but eventually he was gonna get the killing parts and the leader. And guess what? He was eliminated. I feel immense sadness in my heart. So all of my favorite picks, they always get eliminated early. So I was cheering for Yoonmin this time in hopes that I wouldn't bring the downfall to seowon, right? But I was still voting for him. Obviously, I was still cheering for him. But I was like, no, Yoonmin, you'll be my one pick. Because then you won't make it. But seowon will. But no, seowon didn't make it either. Anyways, he wanted to go to Sugar High. He was accepted into Sugar High. He was the first person there. And after how many episodes? 8 episodes. He finally had screen time because he was eliminated. He had so much screen time this episode, which was so sad. Harry June also got a lot of screen time this episode, which was sad. It's just, I hate Mnet. I hope they burn. Then we got to see everyone getting accepted into their teams. Main dish mainly being of lower ranked trainees. Lucky Macho having the famous hot trainees. So we had Junmin, Zinglong, those kind of people. Zhongxing went into main dish. Lee Jong really wanted chains, and Lee Jong got into chains. Let's see if he will continue into chains. I'm not sure. Yoonso went into Sugar High. The baby, obviously, he wanted to do something not cute, but he did. Masato went into Sugar High. I voted for Masato into Sugar High because I wanted him doing a cute concept. Let's see how well he pulls off. Liu wanted chains, but he got Sugar High. And Kungmin wanted chains, and he got chains. So he was very happy about that. And I'm happy he's happy about that. And I kind of wanted to see Liu in chains as well. I didn't want to see, to be honest, in those groups, I wanted to see people we haven't seen in those concepts before. So Sungwon, I did not want to see in chains. Junso, I did not want to see in chains. Sungwon, please go to Sugar High. Junso, please go to Sugar High. Lee Jong, I want to see him in chains. Kungmin, I want to see him in chains. Liu, I want to see him in chains. Junmin, I would prefer him in chains over Lucky Macho. I would want him in more of a sexy thing rather than a cool dark rappy concept. I would like to see that from Junmin. From Zinglong, we've seen a lot of versatility, so I'd let him choose. But specifically Sungwon, Junso, even Leo at a certain point, I would rather they had done Sugar High, which is cute, because I want to see them doing another type of concept, and we've seen them all in Whiplash. Whiplash and Chains group overlap a bit, so I hope the ones that stayed in Chains, I hope are the ones that didn't show us that they are good in this concept. Like Junso. I know Junso can be sexy. He just showed me. Can he be cute? You know? Surely I can search and I can see him performing cutely, but I would rather he showed during the show, you know? That's what I wanted, but I'm not sure we're gonna get that. And then we had a North Face sponsor part, and then we got to see the dynamics of the team. We started seeing Lucky Macho and how the dynamics were. Harry June got a lot of screen time because he was the leader, and then he was chosen as the killing part for one of the groups, so they divided them into 2 groups of 6, and they have to choose 2 killing parts, and they chose Harry June as the killing part of his group. This is also unfortunate because I get so sad that they get eliminated. This is the saddest elimination for me because you work so hard for a song and then you just get eliminated, and then the other trainees need to scurry with another song because there's too many people in a song, and then learn it in a week or less, make a rap, stuff like that. And it's just hard. It makes me a little pitiful over everyone, the ones that need to change and the ones that didn't get to perform. Then we got to see Yumeki teaching the dance for Lucky Macho a bit, and them choosing who would be the killing part, and they chose Junmin as the killing part, and he was surprised, and we got Junmin screen time again. And during the picking of the killing part, Bohang wanted the killing part, so he asked Yumeki to reconsider the killing part and basically to retry it out, because there was also rap parts, and he was like, I know Junmin can dance better, but could I perform either way, just so you see with the rap? And then if Junmin was okay with it, they would perform, and he tried again, and Junmin just looked so cute barefaced, and he maintained his killing part. Well, even if he didn't, he was gonna get it either way because Bohang was eliminated. Zura and Jaehyun, the only person remaining in the team with them, like from the 6 people he was in, right, is Yumeki, I think. So that's that. And then Jaehyun got a bit of screen time where he was distraught and he said he doesn't really have friends and he's just shy. And then we have the cutest thing of Dongyu Harry-jun cuddling him when he gets into the room. It's so sweet. It's just really cute. And then there's a comparison to like, oh, how Yoonso's Hyung is Zinglong, because they cannot let go of the Yoonso Zinglong thing. They were comparing like Zinglong is so caring with Yoonso, but look at those Hyungs. They are also fun. And they really try to get him out of his shell and make him practice hard from what we see in the edit. And we see Harry June really like, again, let's do again with more power and try the choreography again and stuff like that, which makes me happy. And this is the Harry June screen time that we needed to see for like Jenny, but we didn't really see. But Harry June has a place to go back to, so I'm not going to be super sad, even though it might not be the best place to go back to. He has a group to go back to. Seowon, on the other hand, doesn't have a group to go back to anymore. He went all in into this. And talking about Seowon, we had the Seowon screen time cute ones. And Seowon is a 0-0 liner, which is a reason why I think he also wasn't pushed by Mnet, because I thought Yoonmin was going to get pushed by Mnet, but Yoonmin wasn't. And I think it's because they are a bit out of the age range they want, because they wanted a 5-year contract for the group. But anyways, then we got to see Sugar High, and Moojin was like, does anyone want to be leader? I have a recommendation. And then Sunghyun was like, I also have a recommendation. And everyone turned their attention to Seowon, and Seowon becomes the leader. And then he says, oh, it was likely that this was going to happen because everyone is really young and all the kids are so excited, so it makes his energy drop down a bit, but he seems to be a good leader so far. And they try out for the killing part, and Masato and Seowon gets it. Honestly, I thought personally that Masato didn't do a bad job, but Hyunjun should have gotten the killing part. Hyunjun and Seowon, I would say, because they danced and they sang, and they did both pretty well. Then we get to see them going into the 1 million studio and the Maknaes dancing. So Shingyoo, Yoonso dancing in front of our mentor, and Yoonso having cute parts saying he wants to be a cool guy. Then we get to Chains, and Chains we have a slight evil edit to Junso. Junso should lay a little low. A slight evil edit because Junso asks people, does anyone want to be a leader? Nobody raises their hand. Sungwon says, I have a recommendation, and looks at Kangmin. Kangmin is deciding whether he's gonna raise his hand or not, and then Junso's like, well, if nobody wants to be the leader, then I'll just be the leader for the 4th time in a row. And then Kangmin is like, well, I thought Junso wanted it, so I didn't really raise my hand. And then it just looks a little bad for Junso, because we're already coming from a not so good leader edit from last round, and then it's nothing big here, right? He could have not seen Kangmin like struggling with putting his hand up or not, but it looks bad for him because it feels like he's not giving other people the chance to be leaders, even though he did say like, oh, I've been leader for a couple times, so if anyone else wants to try. But the way they made it look like, and maybe even the way he said it, it could be both. It could be just one of them. It seemed like he said it just out of courtesy, but he actually wanted to be leader. And that's emphasized with Kangmin saying, well, I wanted to try, but it felt like Junso wanted it more, so I left it to him. If we only had that part where Junso was like, oh, do you guys want to be leader? Because I have been leader already. No, okay, so I'll be leader. But instead they had the cut with Kangmin, which makes it evil edit, I guess. And then they decide on the killing parts in Chains. Killing part have 70 seconds somehow. 70 seconds. A whole minute and 10 seconds in a performance of 6 people? They have 70 seconds plus their parts, which is insane. But sub rapper has 8 seconds. Sub vocal 3 has 10 seconds. So, you know, this is a bit unfair. But anyways, it's Mnet, so we'll see who the killing part will be. A lot of people want to try the killing part for Chains. Then Junso tells Sungwon he should be killing parts, but Sungwon didn't really raise his hand. And that looks good for Sungwon fans and Sungwon fans only, because again, Sungwon has been killing parts for a similar song to this. So does he need to be killing part again? No. Could you guys win either way? Yeah, because you have talented enough trainees. So I understand him, but it also doesn't look that good. And then I also understand that he's kind of like trying to tell someone it's okay if you want to try out for the killing parts. Try it if you want. Don't be shy. Don't be anxious. And I am saying you the same thing, Sungwon. Don't be shy. Don't be anxious, because I cannot take another edit of anxious Sungwon. So please. Then we got to see the people trying out the parts. Sen did a pretty good job, honestly. I thought he was pretty good. We saw Kangmin, Lee Jong, and Gunwoo, I think, trying. I didn't like Lee Jong. I didn't like Gunwoo either. We saw Angshin then. Wasn't my favorite either. I think I prefer Sen up until this point. And then we had Jayahao. And Jayahao, I'm really rooting for him to Ricky his way in to the top 8. He was a really good killing part. He was really sexy. He had the image down. He danced well. And I hope he can take the killing part here. Angshin, I thought, was doing a bit too much. And it didn't fit the vibe that well. But, you know, I am open to be surprised in the final performance. We then got a little bit of screen time for Leo, talking about like who he prefers. And it reminds me a bit of Whiplash, how he also chose people and how the show made his opinion sound more valid than Junso's, who barely had his opinion showed in Whiplash. And the 2 killing parts were chosen as Angshin and Jaehao, though I think Sen should have won one of the killing parts. And before Chain Group was done, we had a tiny Angshin Sungwon part where they talked about Sungwon being anxious and how he wasn't confident. And I just want to shake him because I do not want this kind of edit again. I am tired. It makes me mad almost because we're seeing this again and again. Like, sure, I understand how anxiety is part of us human beings. It makes him more like us. Like, Sungwon also has fears and anxiety because he lost to La 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 team and he thought he was gonna win, so his confidence was down, stuff like that. And honestly, like, I'm just tired of seeing that. I hope he is confident. I hope he's happy, and I hope everything works out for him because I do not want to see his anxiety in my screen anymore. I want to see him succeed. So Mnet, please, like, pack it up with those. We understood already from the very first episode when he was nervous to perform. It was enough. We already saw how he is so much like us. So please, have him be not that much like us. You know, it annoys me. And then we had Angshin basically saying he would practice harder than Jiahao to be better than him. And honestly, Angshin, like, you're very talented and I know you guys are friends and you got first place and Jiahao didn't. But for this specific song, I feel like no matter how much you practice, Jaehao just like embodies it. So I really hope he gets this killing part. Even though we saw in the trailer Sungwon gets it somehow, I hope Jaehao has it instead. Then we saw Main Dish, and Main Dish was mainly focused on how Zahao wanted to be the leader and he got the leader. And basically it was a really good edit for Zahao, which and it starts him off for a good place in the next episode when he is the only survivor of the team. So basically they try to separate the parts and a lot of people try out for main rapper. And we have a lot of Shihun screen time that I don't really like. And we had them in a haunted house as well when we have it here, which it wasn't really necessary. Mnet wasn't really necessary. We have Chongxing trying out as well, which I was happy. I like seeing him. I like seeing him. I'm gonna be honest, he's a fun part of the whole show. Then we had Taeju as well, who did a pretty good job too. Shihwan somehow gets main rapper. Jungxing gets the other main rapper, and the whole trauma after it is like Taeju being kind of upset, thinking to himself like, I'm gonna be eliminated, so why should I even try? And then Zahao has a really nice talk to him. Honestly, if I was there and I knew I was gonna be eliminated, I feel like I would have the same thoughts, like, why am I even trying so hard? But it is important that if you show your hard work, obviously sometimes you don't, but sometimes you get screen time for that. And what if you survive, right? And Zahao, instead of saying that, which is what I would think, like, oh, do I really need to work hard? And like, oh, but maybe you get good screen time for trying really hard, even though you know your rank is really low, trying to get some promotion out of it. But Zahao took a really long shower and he was singing Hola Solar, and he told Taeju, like, I am also scared I'm going to get eliminated. I think the whole team is, but I don't want to give up before my fans do. And I thought that was really nice because his fans were voting for him at that moment. Even if he had 2 fans, those 2 fans would be voting for him, because it's not like they have 0 fans. They already passed the first elimination. So for sure, some people are voting for them. And I thought it was a nice way to see it. And it's not something that I would think of, obviously, because I don't have fans. Unless I thought it was a nice way to put it, and it made me happy that Taeju felt motivated after that, and it showed that Zahao isn't only this comedy relief, but he also is really emotionally intelligent, and he knows what to say and how to make people happier or how to help people and give them advice. So I was really happy with that. Then they had a little play meeting, and they said again, like, oh, I hope we meet you guys again, because maybe we don't get to meet you. And Plave was like, no, I hope I get to see you guys. And the ones who sing main dish will be working directly with Plave, which is super cool, I think, because getting to work with seniors in the industry. Even though Plave, the group, isn't that old, I'm pretty sure all of them or most of them were already debuted idols that didn't really work out. So it is a nice place to be, especially as a trainee, for you to get this experience of not only going to the studio, but also meeting other people, making that network. I think it's actually one of the best groups for you to be, main dish. Maybe even if it doesn't go super well in Boys Planet, I feel like the networking here and the experience you get in this group might be better than the ones you have in another place, also because you're talking to Plave. So that's pretty cool too. Then Plave kind of reacted to them dancing, and we got to see some other trainees screaming for how they worked hard, how they want to keep going, how they don't want to give up, how they want to perform the song until the end. We had Yoonmin saying, you didn't come here to have any regrets, so please don't. Jahao saying he wanted this to be the last year of him training. And overall, squeezing my heart and twisting and turning, because most of the trainees who screamed here, Zuren, Gaehyun, who also got a bit of screen time this episode, Yoonmin, they were all eliminated. So it made me really sad. And with that, we transitioned into the survival themselves. And 24 people were just not enough. It was not enough. We saw a lot of fluctuations in the ranking. Most C trainees except Angxing and Xinglong went down with their ranks. I think that's because of the merge, and we had 2 weeks where we voted only C trainees, and C trainees had like a boosted amount of votes because people voted for eliminated trainees from the C group, and there were more eliminated trainees from the C group in the first elimination, right? Before even we voted. So the votes that were given for someone like Kai Jing-xing was distributed evenly between the C group members, and I think that boosted a bit of their rankings, especially the ones that didn't rank so high. So most of them from like 10th place below. And Xinglong was predicted to be in the top 8 since he had the best arc and storyline and performances someone could ever have in an Mnet survival show. He had the perfect ladder to go up, so that was expected that he would be in the top 8 now, but everyone else fell down. Jay, who was 13th, is ranked 25th, and so forth and so on. So the rankings changed a bit. I think the most surprising for us, I think my most surprising one was definitely Jono placing so high. I thought he was going to make it, but I thought he was going to rank around 20th, but he ranked 13th. And it really shows how one good performance and having a click really does well for you. So Sungwon and Leo fans voted for Juno because he's also part of Trainee A. People from the Rising Sun team voted probably to Juno, Hangyu, Harry June all together. Even though he didn't have an edit, even though he wasn't seen, he didn't have a brilliant second round, I think he made enough of an impact with Rising Sun to people to be curious to who he is. And then those formations of votings really made him go up. Juno, however, though, is someone that I almost always forget about. So when I see him, it takes me a bit to be like, who is he again? Jeno, because they don't show him. He doesn't have that much screen time, and he doesn't have like pink hair or something like that. That makes it easy for me to find him in the crown. So I was pretty impressed with his ranking, and I'm curious to see if we're going to be able to see him rank high like that. But I was really surprised for him ranking that high. Hanum was also someone I was surprised because I thought he was going to rank higher, but he had almost no international votes, which is insane. I am pretty sure Hanum is going to be able to debut based only on Korean votes, because Koreans are going to keep voting for him because they see he doesn't rank well because international people don't vote for him. So that solidifies his one pick. And between having a high global one pick and a high Korean one pick, if he can rank between the top 3 one picks in Korea, I think he can actually make it to debut. So I thought he was going to actually make it to the top 8, but he didn't. Gunwoo made it instead. Are we happy about that? The Koreans seem to have gotten over the whole bullying scandal. I'm not sure how much I can look past that. Some people say like, oh, it was proven wrong. It wasn't really proven wrong. The only thing that happened was that the alleged victim went a bit crazy and was threatening Gunwoo and saying they were going to stalk them and they were gonna do crimes. But does that mean that everything that was said by them wasn't true? No, because Gunwoo had said in his statement that some things did happen and some things didn't really happen like that. And everyone who came into Gunwoo's defense came into his defense in a way that was like, well, that kind of happened, but it wasn't really his fault. The adults were telling him to do. I'm not sure if that changes much. Like, that just shows how bad the whole industry is, I guess. And I'm not sure it shows that he is a great person by them saying that. Like, oh, he just did what the adults wanted him to do, so he bullied people. Like, does that make me think he is a great guy? No. And apart from that, my personal opinion is that he isn't a spectacular trainee. I don't think he is this crazy performer. I don't see much charisma to him. Like, I think he is pretty talented. Like, he can sing and he can dance. He's really competent in what he does, but he doesn't really inspire me when I watch him. He's not really attention grabbing. Like, when I watch him, I'm like, you know, you're good and whatever, but you're not wow. Which I guess can be learned, but if you're a trainee that long, I feel like you should have some star power. And I feel like that lacks with him specifically. Whereas someone like Sunghyun, who, he's not necessarily bad, but he definitely has less skills than Gunwoo, right? He doesn't sing as well. He probably isn't as polished. But I am much more drawn into Sunghyun than I am to Gunwoo. So personally, I don't really like Gunwoo as a performer. It's not someone that I get excited watching, but I understand why people would vote for him. I guess they find him attractive, and disregarding the bully situation, which is a bit of a limbo because Korea takes bullying situations pretty seriously. So the fact that they are voting for Gunwoo makes me think that something maybe got lost in translation and we didn't see the whole story, because we had Hyunjin from Stray Kids have to take a whole hiatus due to bullying situation. And Stray Kids is, I would say, one of the most popular boy groups after BTS that we have currently. And when this happened, they were already pretty famous. Maybe not where they are now, but they were already pretty big. So Hyunjin having to take a break from Stray Kids because of a bullying scandal, and Koreans are still accepting Gunwoo, makes me think we might not have the full clarity. But from what I have seen, the bullying allegations were not debunked, was just the victim went a little crazy afterwards. I don't think one thing takes away the other, especially since, as I already said, the defenses didn't really state that Gunwoo didn't do anything of that the whole thing was false. It was just like, oh, that did happen, but under these circumstances. So that's that. So our top 8 was Sangwon in first place, Angshin in second place. I thought Angshin was gonna fall a bit. I am a little scared for Angshin because I feel like people are gonna overestimate his one pick because Jung Hao debuted well, but he keeps his second place despite being ghost edited by Mnet. That is really good for him. I'm not sure why he isn't being seen. He didn't really get a good edit after his first episode, I would say. All of his edits were giving Sungwon more storyline, I would say, and kind of feeding into Sungwon's storyline rather than having a storyline himself. So I was a bit worried about Angshin and how that would show in his ranks, but he didn't really fall off, which I'm glad glad. I hope he keeps it that way. Leo ranked third. I think people panic voted Leo because he got really low votes in his performance for Queen card, and they show that for the preview in the first week of the concept mission. I think Leo will debut now. I didn't think people were gonna overlook his controversy, but I feel like most people did, and the people that didn't vote for him in the first place. So I feel like his 3 pick might be even stronger than his 5 pick, and his 1 pick even stronger than his 3 pick, because the people that are voting for him in first place are already people that overlook that controversy and that don't really mind, that they like him. And controversial picks like him usually have better 1 pick than like 5 pick, because it's just like voting Ganu, right? Like if you vote for him, it means that you probably vote for him until the end. So that's kind of my reasoning here. So I feel like he will probably do better in the next round, or well, do better is a little hard, but maybe he rises into second place. Though the best thing that could happen for Leo next round, for him to guarantee his debut if it isn't already guaranteed, is to fall a little bit. So the next round is the one which, if you're in the top 8 and you want to debut, you can't be in the top 8. You need to rank like 9th, 10th in the next round, so people panic vote you in the finals. Like people who would vote Sungwon but want Kangmin in, and Kangmin ranks like 9th, they'll vote for him. And that's more than Kangmin would have if Kangmin ranked inside the top 8. So the next one is a good one to fall off a little bit. I don't think that would happen with Leo. Xinglong also is on a rise. I also feel like he's locked in due to his screen time. It really shows how screen time and being seen in a positive light affects your rank. I'm really glad for him. I like him, so I'm glad he has this position. Hopefully he maintains it. Junso in 5th place, his Korean votes went down a lot. I think Junso is a common filler pick, so I see him going down more, which I would say would be a good thing for him to debut, because people who like him and have seen him would want to vote for him in the finals then. But he isn't super secured in the final lineup, I wouldn't say, especially with his Korean's ranks going down. Him placing 10th in Korean, I fear he will fall down even more, maybe to the point where it is insalvageable. Then we have Sunghyun, who also ranked lower than expected, I would say. But I don't think Sunghyun is going anywhere, but maybe we have a change. Who knows? Hanum will have to get one of these people's rank, because I'm like so convinced he's going to debut. So some of them are gonna have to fall off. Ganu, I just see him rising. Good screen time, and in a later episode, in episode 7, right? He had a good screen time, and he was already ranking high before that. He didn't rank 7th out of nowhere from that storyline alone. So people have been voting him already. After that screen time, more people are gonna vote for him, and I feel like he's going to rise. Kangmin, 8th place. People panic voted him into the top 8, which shows that he still has quite some fans out there. I feel like he also needs a good storyline though to lock his place. Then we had Masato in 9th place, which is still surprisingly high to how good his performances were, or how memorable he was in his performances, and how much screen time he had. Like, he is someone who has quite a bit of screen time, but not that much. I feel like Masato still has a chance to debut, because he might be the Japanese 1 pick, especially if Yumeki doesn't make it to the finals. Masato might just rise that much, but he does need like a really good performance. Being the killing part in Sugar High might just make him debut. Liu, I thought he wasn't gonna fall off that much. I was surprised he's still 10th, even after people panic voting him. I feel like people are really happy with his performances, even though I think he did a pretty decent job. But he still has a lot of Korean votes, so we'll see if they will be enough for him to debut or not. Junmin in 11th place, super high if we compare last time. The votings between Liu and someone like Junmin was so far apart, and for them now to be side by side is pretty impressive, and it just shows how, again, screen time does make a man. And it also shows when someone ranked 39th because he was invisible. But anyways, I feel like Junmin is an amazing performer, so I'm not mad about it. Do I think he has a chance to debut? I feel like his companion Lee Jong actually has a better chance. Lee Jong is more liked in Korea. I feel like Junmin is more of a global pick, whereas Lee Jong is a Korean pick, and being a Korean pick is a lot safer. The one that I liked more from Weeb was Wonjun, who was eliminated in the last round already. So you can see my taste is neither. But I also prefer Junmin over Lee Jong in terms of style, performance, and stuff like that. And I feel like Lee Jong would have a higher one pick than Junmin. So I feel like Lee Jong is in a really good path, especially with how good his edits were. Then Janya Wool already said how I was really surprised with this ranking. Hanum, I thought he was going to rank higher. Maybe if some international people start voting for him, because people need to decide if they're going to vote for Hanum or Woojin as the main vocalist. I don't see Woojin making it to the debut line because Koreans really are not voting for him. And if you're not number 1 or number 2 globally, we can't really put you inside the top 8. And number 1 and number 2 are going to be Sungwon and Angshin or Sungwon and Leo. So I don't see Woojin debuting. But Hanum needs a little bit of international push to actually make it. Hangyu, I was so sad that he went down. I really wanted Hangyu to debut. I hope he rises. But he has been getting ghost edited by Mnet now. He hasn't really had any screen time in his Run to You performance. So I don't see him getting one next episode either. If finale is 16 people, he is really on the edge there. Then we have Zihao ranking 17th again, the power of having a screen time. Really happy too. Zihao is like Wenjae from Girls Planet, like so funny, so nice. Every time they're on my screen, I am happy that I see them. So I'm glad that he's ranking high. I don't think he'll make it to next round though. Kaiwen is on a rise, Jaya Hao too. So we're gonna see if that's enough to push them into the finals. I feel like both of them had really good performances and are getting really good viral moments internationally. So I hope that pushes them enough. Yoonso also had really good screen time. He fills the Mnet's Maknae role, but not the one that debuts. The one that is just super cute and has a bit of screen time. So Ollie-like or Maya-like from Girls Planet. That's the role he fills. He will probably have his performance shown the first week, which might boost him up more. I don't think he's debuting, but good for him, you know, good for him having all the screen time. I think he's a really talented young boy. Jingyu didn't have the screen time I assumed he was gonna have. I don't think he will have it now because I feel like it's too late, but he's still ranked pretty high for someone who wasn't really seen. Then we have Yumeki. Yumeki ranked really low for him being Yumeki. And Mnet had this edit for him where he's overqualified. Where they were like, oh, the choreographies that Yumeki make are so expensive, but we got that for free and stuff like that. And it's just like showing how overqualified he is, especially in the dance aspect. In the show, which is something I said like one of the first or second videos that I made where I talked about some of the contestants. And I said I had that feeling with Hui, that Hui was just too good that he shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be there because he was too good. It was insane how with his talent and his experience and his production and his vocals that he had to compete with 15-year-olds to try to debut in a group. How he should have been a mentor instead, how he should have been producing to the group instead, going solo or something, because he shouldn't have to go to these lengths to try to debut again, right? Obviously, the feeling with Yumeki is a little different because it's like I understand how he is pursuing an idol career after being a choreographer for so long, but the way that they portray Yumeki brings me a little bit of this feeling that I had watching Hui, which is he is so overqualified. And I think one of Yumeki's big mistakes was choosing dance in the concept mission, because surely he is the most prestigious choreographer that they have there in the show, but it doesn't really show us anything different from him. In my opinion, he should have chose rap and try to do something different. Maybe he can't sing, but he can rap a couple of words, possibly. And I think even if he did a bad job rapping, it would be like, oh, it's okay because he never rapped in his life before. He's a foreigner. Whereas he didn't do a bad job with the choreography, but he didn't do an outstanding job. Like, wow, you were super, super amazing. It was incomparable, the choreography. Like, the way the edit was made and how he was in between a bunch of groups, it didn't make it seem like that spectacular. So I feel like it was a mistake that he chose dance because it really devalued his skills and he didn't show himself. He wasn't seen. He was seen. Obviously, I'm gonna play this card again. Like, he's a choreographer. He's so good. He's overqualified for the show. but the choreography itself didn't seem like, oh, it was overqualified, and he didn't show us what I specifically wanted to see, and I think a lot of people wanted to see is, can you do something else other than dance? Can you hold a tune? Can you sing? Can you rap for you to be an idol? And that was the perfect moment for him to choose that, but he didn't. And I understand singing and rapping must be hard, but for you to be an idol, that is one of the basic requirements. So that's that. Then we have Hanwon surviving in 23rd. I think he had a pretty good following before the show as well. I'm not super surprised he made it. He also had his viral moment with Minjae. Also, I'm still so shocked that Minjae didn't make it past the first elimination. Like, so shocked no MCND members made it. I don't know. The eliminations in Boys 2 Planet just feel like so many people that didn't deserve to be eliminated were. Not that the people that stayed didn't deserve, but I feel like last time there were more talented people staying, and there was a clear difference between the ones that were eliminated and the ones that stayed. Whereas this time, the one that stayed versus the one that are eliminated, not necessarily is the talent separating them, only the popularity. And in 24th, we have Dongyu, who I'm pretty sure is going to go up because he was in 24th. So automatically, whoever is in last is going to get a little bit of a boost, especially if they focus on that. And they did focus on Dongyu being 24th. He also got a really good screen time, really good edits in his last performance. Mnet almost lost him though. It was a little late for a push. Might not be enough to make it to the top 8 because I feel like the one picks are pretty much decided at this point. But people might trade Junso in their lineup for him. So that might be that. And then everyone else was eliminated. We had Siwon ranking 48th. Hyunjun, it's so sad that Hyunjun ranked 47th. Hyunjun, I think, is one of the people that I'm really heartbroken about seeing them go. Obviously, he is young and he still has a lot in front of him, but he was one of these really talented trainees, which I think didn't get the love he deserved, right? Then we had Dong Hung Hai, who also I was pretty sad because he went to Boys Planet again to try out something. I feel like from his edit in the first Sea Planet episode, if it was C trainees only, he might have made it. And it's really sad that he had to try again only to be paid dust after that. So hopefully things work out for him. Taejo is still young, so he still has a lot in front of him. Bowen is getting a lot of a following internationally, so pretty sure things are gonna go well for him. Dongyun, hopefully Drippin works out. Yichen, well, he doesn't have to go to the military, so maybe we'll see him again. Jinyu, Yechun are people that I'm not particularly gonna miss, but they gave me some pretty good moments. Yechun specifically, I love his hip performance, so I see he has a bright future. Seowon ranking 39th is absolutely disgraceful. I don't know who did this. 39th feels like only my votes counted, guys, and I voted for him every freaking day, and he ranked 39th, which is just crazy. Crazy, he deserved more. I was thinking he might have made it. I was crazy. Insane. But then he was so shown this episode, which made me so mad. Because it's like, oh, here is all the screen time you guys have been asking me. Tatsuki, 38th. Gyehyun, 37. Gyehyun also, I thought he deserved more screen time. 36, Inhu. Inhu also had his little screen time in S class, but didn't make it. Yang had quite a bit of Korean fans, so I thought he was going to rank higher. Gwangsu, who had previous fans. Arctic, who did so well in Plot Twist and had his performance shown first. Also, I didn't think he was going to make it, but I think that's why he ranked 33rd. Sen, 32nd. Bohang, 31st. I don't know, like, I understand why everyone ranked where they did, right? But I kind of wish some people would be higher. Yoonmin 30th place is crazy. If his performance was shown a week earlier, he would have made it, which is crazy to me. I'm so happy he ranked 30th. Like, that is, he deserved better, but I'm happy he went out well. Like, it's 18 spots better than where he was. Whereas Seowon fell 19 spots, which is not so nice. Jongxing ranking 29th. I almost wanted him to go another round just for the sake of it and entertainment, but I feel like it's a good place for him to stop and for him to go to therapy. Zuran is someone I'm very sad didn't make it because I liked him out quite a bit. He is also someone that I was happy when he was on my screen. Jaehyun is still young, so there's a lot for him in the future. Harry June, I'm sad because as we saw this episode, there was a lot from him that could have been shown previously but wasn't, but they hid it because they hate us, and Mnet didn't really want him. But I hope his group gets recognition and that he gets paid if he isn't paid by his group now, because he probably isn't paid if he had to go here, and that is a concern I kind of have. Because Yoojin from CLC wasn't really paid when she was in CLC. And CLC they were unknown, but they were unknown. So I hope Harry June gets paid eventually. And then Jae also breaks my heart because he fell so much. And he also was paid dust after the first episode where they really talked about his amazing visuals and he was so talented vocally and he got all stars. But after that, we didn't see anything anymore. So to all of these eliminated trainees, I really hope the best, except for Shihwan. But I really hope you guys the best, that you find the right path for you, that you get successful, get your bag, get your money. And for seowon specifically, I really hope you debut in a good group and that you are successful, because you are someone that shines on stage. You are so talented and I cannot lose you to, I don't know, any other job. So please keep pursuing your dreams, and I will be here to watch you pursue your dreams. Yoonmin too. Yoonmin, I know you are super talented, so I know you have a good career ahead of you. I'll be listening to your songs. And everyone else, thank you so much for showing us your performances, for having fun in Boys Planet, and hopefully we'll see more from you. To the viewers watching, you can comment down below who are you sad that didn't make it, and you will not bash me for just speaking about seowon, because unfortunately I have a bias. So after this, after my 2 picks were eliminated, I'll be so completely unbiased with everyone else, except I do have people I like more. But right now, who am I cheering for? I think I'm cheering for Hangyu, Zinglong, Jayahao. Get the C trainees, guys. Get the C trainees into the debut line. Let's make all the Chinese debut. The poor little 6 Chinese left. They came in 80 and there's 6 left, which is insane. The promise to them was that 8 were going to survive. And in the second elimination, we already have only 6. So that's kind of insane. I still think they should have had more space, because we just got to know the trainees now. It was too many trainees to begin with. 80 and 80 were just too many trainees. I really hope they had a smaller amount of trainees so that we were able to really get to know each one of them. But Mnet sucks. So that's that. Anyways, I'll see you guys next week talking about the performances that we're about to see from Who Survived. Bye-bye!